What's up, Beijing? I'm Hasan Piker, and this is the Hasan broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles, folks, not from Beijing. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic moment because today is a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is Newsday, Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Looking very Chinese today, King. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. BARI WEISS says she wants to use her new perch at CBS News to redraw the lines of what falls in the 40 yards of acceptable debate in American and political and cultural life. She says the aim is to sideline voices like Hasan Piker, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, and elevate charismatic figures such as Alan Dershowitz and Dana Loesch to reflect where the vast majority of Americans actually are. Now, obviously, I think this is funny for a couple different reasons. One of the reasons why it's funny is because this is BARI WEISS saying the quiet part out loud. And another reason why is obviously because she's referring to Alan Dershowitz as a charismatic figure. Like, she's literally saying, look, whether you disagree with these people, with Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes, I certainly disagree with them, or not, it's ridiculous to say that people like myself or people like Tucker Carlson don't have massive real audiences as opposed to fucking Alan Dershowitz or Dana Loesch. Media demons that have been propped up, tenured professors and media demons that have no organic platform on their own. The association with me and Nick Fuentes is ridiculous, but it's one that Zionists regularly will present, not realizing that this doesn't actually make me look bad, but it actually normalizes people like Nick Fuentes in the eyes of many people because the position I hold is the majority position on Israel. Right? It wasn't the case post October 7, but it certainly is the case now. So all that does is, I think, normalize Nick Fuentes more in the eyes of many Americans. And it's a dangerous position that these dipshits actually advance, even if they don't realize it. And apparently she did end up uploading a debate between Alan Dershowitz and Dana Loesch on gun control. And that fucking debate got 1,994 views in 10 hours. So obviously it's definitely not something that the American population or anyone, as a matter of fact, is looking for. But let's take a look at this silly thing. And I'm going to give you the tea afterwards as well, which makes it even funnier that BARI WEISS and CBS News is mentioning my name alongside people who should be deplatformed.
See the moment that we're in. And all of us see that the choices that it feels like we have sometimes, which is Hasan Piker and Tucker Carlson or Nick Fuentes and, Andrew Tate, the kind of people that are rising in the podcast charts.
I like that she had my name locked and ready to go, the first name that she brought up. And it's really interesting because I leaked some tea after this video was going viral on Twitter, and that tea is that they literally are trying to get me to do a fucking debate on CBS News with a person that happens to be on this panel, Ben fucking Shapiro. They literally want me to do a CBS News debate with Ben Shapiro. And I said I would do it as long as it was about Israel-Palestine, and they want to do it over capitalism. And I was like, that's boring. So it's so funny that she's like saying this. It's so funny that she's talking shit with Ben Shapiro on that fucking panel. And she's literally on the sidelines trying to set up a debate between me and fucking Ben Shapiro. So what happened? You're like, oh, we need to sideline people like Hasan Piker at CBS News while, in private, she's trying to set up a fucking debate. So what happened? Also, her bestie Olivia Reingold wanted to profile you. I know. So which one is it? Am I supposed to be a dangerous extremist voice that needs to be deplatformed, or am I actually a person with a fairly large audience that you want to actually bring over to CBS News, bring eyeballs over to CBS News?
Those don't actually represent our values, and I don't think that they represent the values and the worldview of the vast majority of Americans. And so this is an opportunity to speak for the 75%, for the people that are on the center left and the center right that still believe in equality of opportunity, that still believe passionately in the American project, that still believe in all of the things that everyone in this room believes in, which is liberty and freedom and individual responsibility and in the most basic level, the right to know what is actually going on in the world. Not the world as propagandists and ideologues imagine it to be, but what's actually going on in the world and in your community, so you can make decisions about where to send your kids to school, about where to live, and about how to vote. That used to just be normal, and the goal of what we're trying to do at CBS is to get back to that normalcy. And I feel incredibly energized and enthusiastic because I think that is where the vast majority of Americans actually are. I think one of the problems is a lot of people have tried to do centrist news. I know this because I am like the target audience for those things. And the reason that they have all failed is it's like trying to force feed spinach down someone's throat, right? It's felt very like tofu, oatmeal. It's like centrist news is choosing the midpoint between every single topic. It's felt like an absence.
I do love her being like 75% of Americans. Like, why won't anybody point to what 75% of Americans believe? And it's like, let's ask 75% of Americans how they feel about Israel. Who do you think they're closer to on fucking Israel? Person who's sitting as a propagandist for the apartheid state, or guy who says Israel sucks? I wonder what Americans would be tuned into in terms of their opinions on Israel. Me or fucking BARI WEISS? Like, what a stupid fucking argument. And it also doesn't make any sense because she goes, oh, it's broccoli. Centrist news is what 75% of the population demands. But it's also broccoli. It's also spinach. It's also boring. Okay, which one is it? Are people desperate for some centrism and some normalcy and some normal voices in media? Or is it actually boring and you're trying to manufacture consent? Where are we at on this?
People have tried to do centrist news. I know this because I am like the target audience for those things. And the reason that they have all failed is it's like trying to force feed spinach down someone's throat, right? It's felt very like tofu, oatmeal. It's like centrist news is choosing the midpoint between every single topic. It's felt like an absence of charisma and identity.
That's why we need to bring in incredibly charismatic sexual dynamo, Alan fucking Dershowitz, to CBS News. It's like, yeah, I was thinking like, where can you get more Alan Dershowitz? In mainstream media, that's it. Whether it be an article that he will write about how we must lower the age of consent laws, or whether it be going on Fox News on a nightly basis to talk about how the victims of Jeffrey Epstein are liars, right? Alan Dershowitz is on mainstream media all the fucking time. Dana Loesch is a mainstream media figure. She was an NRA spokesperson. It doesn't make any fucking sense. The funniest part about this, in my opinion, is that she is so objectively bad at her fucking job that this is a failure, in my opinion. It's the type of failure you can see. The example BARI WEISS gave of the charismatic mainstream debate she believes will revitalize CBS, namely the gun control debate she arranged between Alan Dershowitz and Dana Loesch, has so far been watched by a grand total of 860 people in 5 hours since posting. Perhaps for all of the anger and resentment that you might have towards independent media content creators who are not abiding by whatever norms existed in legacy publishers, norms, i.e. norms, for example, of demonstrating unconditional loyalty to Israel. Whether you like it or not, it is obvious that people on the independent side of things have to actually carve out their own fucking audiences. And in an effort to do so, they have to be more entertaining. They have to be more charismatic than the people who get hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to sit on a fucking CNN panel, or to sit on a CBS panel, or to sit on a Fox News panel. This is not an issue that you can solve with money.
You know, as nostalgic as people might be for an era in which 30 million Americans every night watch Walter Cronkite and saw him as the voice of truth, and I understand why they're nostalgic for that, we're not going back to that. So how do you build trust in a moment of unbelievably low trust in all of our public institutions, especially the mainstream press? I don't think it's by pretending like we can go back to having a view from nowhere. I think it's about who's in the room, right? I think it's about redrawing the lines of what falls in the 40-yard lines of acceptable debate and acceptable American politics and culture. And I don't mean that in like a censorious gatekeeping way. I mean having people that are...
Okay. You don't mean it in a censorious gatekeeping way. It kind of feels like you mean that in a censorious gatekeeping way. The irony is, these guys are no longer the gatekeepers. CBS News no longer has the same level of relevance. And I say this as someone who gets a shit ton of mainstream press coverage. And in my own personal experience, going on the Theo Von podcast is infinitely better for boosting my profile than any number of different prestigious mainstream legacy newspapers writing profiles on me. Straight up. The Joe Rogan Experience is more of a real gatekeeper now than any number of different news articles. It's just the truth. And I say this as someone who obviously cares about mainstream press, who cares about good journalism, who defends good journalism all the fucking time. The reality of the matter is, as far as PR pushes go, podcasts in general are infinitely more relevant in boosting people's profile in a real way than the previous gatekeepers are. Nobody gives a shit about going on CBS News. I'm serious. My grandma sent me an article that was just 30 sexy pictures of Hasan Piker, so you're doing good with the centrist Debras? Hell yeah. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. If you go on CBS, though, you'll pick up the GILF demographic. I know. And honestly, the wine moms are the revolutionary vanguard of America. Like, make no mistake. I do believe that, which is why I think there is value in doing those sorts of articles. There's value in doing those sorts of articles. There's value in doing mainstream media press. But overall, if we're looking at like the real gatekeepers, like it is no longer the BARI WEISS of the world. It is no longer the fucking CBS News of the world. Okay. It's social media, and social media is such a vast space and so directly associated with these fundamental libertarian principles where all of these billionaires that want to change people's minds by controlling the algorithms still have a higher degree of priority on profit, that they will actually still let you say whatever the fuck you have to say, as long as you are generating revenue for them, as long as you have eyeball retention on those social media platforms. And it's too big of a behemoth to control, at least as it stands currently. Now with AI, that might change, right? If they start processing their own content, and if they just keep pumping their own content, they can actually change and people's consciousness, right? And they can actively make people feel some type of way.
That are clearly, identifiably on the center left and on the center right in conversation with each other. And we've been doing so much of this at the Free Press. I was in, where was I? Chicago last week, I think. I've lost all track of time, where Dana Lash, former spokeswoman from the NRA, was debating Alan Dershowitz on guns. Now, these are people that have wildly different opinions on the Second Amendment, and yet showing that they can have good faith, very passionate, very charismatic disagreement and still like each other at the end of the day. We think it's important. And so
I'm going to be honest with you, at least in the age of stupids, if you really want to tap into the collective consciousness and where they're at, you need to have like OnlyFans models going up against like misogyny podcasters, like misogyny merchants, you know? I think that has a shit ton more relevance in the minds of the average person, the 75% that we're talking about, than fucking Dana Loesch and Alan Dershowitz, or even someone like myself versus Ben Shapiro. That's where the average person is. I'm gonna be honest. The average person's mentality is like they want to see the whatever podcast guys get fucking destroyed by like a feminist commentary person. That's what they want to see. And on the other side, they want to see like some of the most insecure men screeching at a bunch of women. That's what they want to see. The average normie is not invested in a meaningful debate between two parties that are knowledgeable on the issue. I'm not even saying that Dana Loesch and Alan Dershowitz are knowledgeable on the issue of gun control or even remotely entertaining or interesting. I'm simply saying that even if you were to get like two figures that are knowledgeable and can be somewhat entertaining to debate an issue that they have, you know, most people are not invested in that at all. Okay. They're invested in this. This is what they want to see. Holy fuck, this lesbian absolutely bodied tradcon Andrew Wilson for marrying a woman with 3 baby daddies. Damn, I didn't know that till now. What a fucking poser, Lamau. I don't think I've ever seen a man this triggered in my life. The "you lick sniz" line from this fucking loser not only lives in my mind permanently, but I think I'm not alone in feeling like this was an incredible moment of weakness. I mean, we all know this guy's a fucking loser, okay? If you have made a career as like a 50-year-old man, constantly yelling at teenagers, you know, 19-year-old OnlyFans girls to say that they're whores and sluts and whatnot, you are the most pathetic worm-like loser on the fucking planet. And the moment that you encounter, I assume people are saying she's a lesbian. I guess that's the case. Someone who is a competent communicator, they just like push back a little bit, and this person just fucking falls apart. It's just a house of cards. Look at this.
I'll try to rephrase this. I'm gonna reframe, and I'm just gonna be totally honest with you. I will never be able to convince you of my worldview.
You won't.
I know. But the reason is not because I'm not a great orator, or I don't make good points, or I haven't said things which should be compelling to a person. But Charlie, I just think honestly you're too fucking stupid to understand them.
So, Andrew, can I sell you on my worldview?
Yes.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
you
lick sniz.
Under your religion.
You lick sniz.
What does that
You're a
mean?
fucking dyke. Don't talk shit about my wife, you stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth.
You lick sniz. What an own. Yeah, that must have struck a nerve because he thinks he ulted, but it's pretty funny that his ult is that. Like, that's a devastatingly bad ult, in my opinion. I'm using this as an example of like the type of debate that I think Americans actually do want to watch.
Oh no, I caught a bit of it before coming
do
in.
want to watch and do want to hear, as opposed to fucking Dana Loesch versus Alan Dershowitz, which is a low bar to begin with. Here, I'm going to run this back again. You want to hear the incredible counter that this fucking loser has here? Let's take a look.
Your wife has 3 baby daddies and has been married twice before.
And you
you
lick sniz.
Under your
You lick sniz.
Look at his face, bro. Look at his fucking face. Like, he thinks he really hit that. He thinks he really fucking hit that hard. You lick sniz. What a fucking loser this guy is. Jesus Christ.
or religion.
You lick sniz.
What does that
You're a
mean?
fucking dyke. Don't talk shit
That's
about
a
my
good
wife, you
response.
stupid bitch. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your stupid bitch mouth.
Your wife with the 3 baby
What did I
daddies?
just say? Dyke?
Your wife with the 3
Sorry,
baby
I'm sorry,
daddies?
dyke. Is she morally
Yeah,
inconsequential in
this is-
comparison
this
to your
is
ditch
like-
licking?
Do the men that you
This
try
is
to
Neo
Do the
Jerry
women that
Springer.
you try
show
to?
your hatred against
Do you the women that
like,
you try
convince them
to?
that they
With even
shouldn't
less
You know,
like,
Charlie,
pursue
did I bring
women? Do they know
Charlie?
that
Did I
your
bring
wife
your
is 5
family?
years older?
Did I bring any of your
You
family
called me
into?
This is one of those things where it's like, he is such a aggro, like, trad guy that it's like an own. But in most circumstances, like, who gives a shit? How
Is
many
that why he
people-
dresses like a magician?
Yeah, of course. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Okay.
The more you dress like a magician, the more you dress like a libertarian magician, the cooler you are in this crowd, in this space.
I mean, he looks like the
You like sniz.
It's like the friend whose parents like never ever made him dress up for anything. Like goes to like your bar mitzvah and like that's like formal.
Yeah, I'm Ezra Klein, and I think the Whatever podcast is doing politics the right way. You like sniz.
You like sniz.
Oh,
Who is the magician? Is he like a comedian or something?
I don't know what the fuck. I think his previous username was Big Papa Fascist or something.
Interesting.
Yeah, Big Papa Fascist.
I did see that this has like a gazillion views. So I'm,
Yeah,
you know,
and,
like
and even the moderator, who's also another one of these fucking losers, is even he liked that because he loves the controversy. I
well, I
guess.
did like the cut to the react to him, like oh, like
Yeah. By the way, how is this unexpected for him? How does he not have a better comeback than that? Because he has a baby brain, and he's not exactly the most intelligent guy. Obviously, you can't be an intelligent person. He's a debate coach. Oh my fucking god!
what of like kids.
I don't fucking know.
You know,
like,
Charlie, did I
pursue
bring
women? Do they know
Charlie?
that
Did
your
I bring
wife
your
is 5
family?
years older?
Did I bring any of your
You
family
called
into
me fucking
anything?
stupid.
Did I
You
say
called
anything
me
about
fucking
your
stupid.
family being stupid, Charlie?
could.
It's
You could
because
go
I'm
for it.
better than you, Charlie.
No, it's because
Yeah, everyone got that. Everyone got that from this interaction, from this brief interaction.
you're embarrassed and you know that the traditional values that you try to sell people
Okay.
on are bullshit because
Let's
you
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
Chuck, let's go through it.
You are not a traditional
Let's
man.
go through it, Chuck. Tell me what I'm doing with.
Look at his notepad. Hold on. Go back to that. He definitely has some, as somebody who does this in like lectures or whatever, he has some like crazy doodles going.
I can't see from over
Well,
here.
no, you got to play it because it's like
Let's
You
go
are not
through
a
it.
traditional man.
Chuck,
I definitely
let's
felt
go
that-
through
yeah,
it.
You are not-
Yeah.
What
Like,
is that?
Yeah, what is that?
What are these
is he? Is
doodles?
he just like?
What are you doodling over
Yeah,
there?
thank you. I knew I wasn't imagining things. What is he doing?
Ay. Pikachu. Yeah, he doodled Pikachu. He was doodling sniz, drawing a pair of tits.
Yeah, he's doing the Big Lebowski. Drawing.
I love tits. Yeah, at this point, he just gets like destroyed by anyone that is unafraid to speak on a podium like this. If they're remotely confident,
Well, any situation where he's like not able to like, you know,
control
like,
the conversation.
yeah, or like saw somebody in half or I don't know, like pull a rabbit out of a hat.